Hello, folks. This is PsychicUnderLord, and I'm coming at you with another video here on YouTube. We thank you so much for all your views, your subscribing, as well as your commenting, liking, and sharing. Please feel free to put some comments down there if you want to get some direct answers, a little bit more clarity. We tend to do a deep dive on this channel, but I have to put it into digestible pieces so that everyone can be able to follow along and then to be able to veer off on the exit which they are assigned to go onto their further gaining of knowledge. The whole concept of having a community where everyone shares or everyone contributes a piece of the puzzle based upon the perspective of where they are and what they've been through is such a valuable thing for us to go uh, on and on in humanity as we learn and share. Feel free to visit us at PsychicUnderLord.com, where you'll see over 2,000 or more rituals, divining rituals that connect the spirit to the reality to be able to pull these things through and make them real. Um, we have many, many people from around the world who are working with us, and we're so glad that they are also here sharing and on this video as you're watching it, listening as well. So we thank you, and today I want to do an additional video discussing the occult matrix, the hidden unknown, the secrets of the occult that we have no knowledge of, yet we have to confront and to bear an understanding based upon how the reality hits us within this matrix. And I'm gonna try to make this simple, but to start off, they discuss so many different things about reality and consciousness that at a certain point you may just black out. You may not understand whether this is an electrical equation, whether this is some type of spiritual environment, whether it is material universe, whether it's non-material. You will go insane. But the one thing that I think is the consolidating factor in gaining all this knowledge, even though the study of consciousness is going to pursue on and on, generation after generation, because see, there will always be whatever has created this thing. So I'm never going to discount and say that once we find out this, then it will all be over. I think the perfection of our spirit and the whole point of us living in this and becoming conscious and aware that there is something behind this that is pulling the strings, something behind this that is controlling everything, is that we are the ones that require spiritual perfection, not the creator. So when we humble ourselves, some people say, "Oh, I thought that I could rise into the Godhead." That would be foolhardy. And I'll explain that as we go into this. I'm going to start off with blood again. One of the chief occult documents that I utilize, the Bible, which has essentially brought me into this thing, is the fact that blood is an essential life force. And before the opportunity for people to transfuse blood into one another, let's just say that most people who did need blood would ultimately die if they did not receive it. It couldn't be replaced by water, couldn't be replaced by fluids or drink this. That did not produce the blood necessary for the system to function. Loss of blood is terminal. But get this also, blood is the first signifying factor of life itself. If you have two cells that join in the creation of a being or the creation of an organic structure, the, the stain of a drop of blood is one of the indicating factors that there has been a crossing over from the ethereal, from the spiritual side into the physical side, and the sign is blood. All blood types. Now, they told us we only had like 4 or 5, but now come to find out there are hundreds of variations of blood types, but some are more predisposed and more readable unto certain characteristics. So it denotes that not only are human beings mixed with the chimpanzee, I'm telling you science, the chimpanzee DNA, and then on the other side, the B side, the B side is chimpanzee, the A side is dog. So we are mixed in our DNA with the DNA of dogs, with the DNA of chimpanzees, which is fascinating. And then we find out, in addition to other animals that are combined in our actual blood, where the DNA will latch onto these creatures and produce further and further that we do not understand or we do not know, which is ethically something that we do not seek to pursue. Blood's purpose in the body is to carry things, carry information, carry materials. So we are a living ecosystem in a world that is based upon ecosystems. So the reflection of the inside of us and the outside of us could have a connection with the operating of our system. If our system is not working well on the inside, there may be a reflection on the outside that the system is not working well. So connecting the body with the mind and the eyes bring information into the brain. That is one of the first things that's produced in the process of an embryo creating a human being, the brain and the eyes. So the eyes begin to bring in information even in the darkness of the womb to notify the brain that there's a consciousness being built upon, cell after cell dividing to be able to materialize into a whole creature. So it's carrying things. If there's a blockage in the system, do you think there's a possibility in the concept of the reflection of what we see and what we're receiving through our eyes that there's also a blockage in humanity? So, what if you have millions of people that have the same blockages and the same lack of belief, the same obstacles, the same belief that there's a wall there when there is no wall? What you have is a slavery species, a species of animal that is essentially being controlled, excuse me, by a certain force. What would be the purpose of that? As a matter of fact, people at the top, now this is another secret, they don't realize until they get to the top and have all the power how pointless their life is. So there's all kinds of things that are controlled opposition to keep people in place. But when you step outside of the destiny control matrix and you let materials and resources dictate and people go on this power mission, guess what? The control opposition lets them do it. And then it gets to a point where they can no longer live. So the ocean has a salinity of the blood. So if we look at the water, the evaporation of the ocean into the clouds come over the land, rain down on the ground, the crops come up, we eat the crops. The salinity of the ocean. Now they say we can't drink salt water without having some type of diuretic response where everything inside of us starts to come out of our system, like a saltwater laxative, if you've heard. But the salinity is the same as the blood. So it denotes that this entire earth, even from its watery beginning and its beginning of fire before the water, is a component of something that is in us, that is a part of our self-preservation, that is a part of our, our function as human beings. So I am a materialist, that we are real. Because once you go to the top of this thing and you hit the glass ceiling, you realize there's something there that doesn't want you to go to that other side. And even when you truly believe that you can go to the other side and confront it, if you're an initiate, you'll understand what I'm saying. Once you go to these things, you'll recognize there's certain things you can't do, certain things you're not supposed to do. It's unbelievable for people to say, oh, well, at a certain point, you may not even be allowed to pray. At a certain point, you may be fashioned and to clear the blockages and put on such an assignment. You may not even be allowed to do uh, what you've actually been assigned to do or what you thought was a talent or a gift. These things may be taken away from you. At a certain point, your vessel, there's nothing more than the delivery through your body into this matrix, through your vessel, of what you're carrying, whether it be ritual, whether it be content, whether it be information, all that. Outcomes are real. Even for light workers, people that don't want to contend with the physical aspects. See, light, a lot of people run into the light work because they say, I've experienced so much obstacle, I know this is the way I'm supposed to go. That's good. But then when you get over there and you say that, hey, the opposition is still here, it's not an instantaneous fix. And the more that you go outside of confrontation to be able to handle these things, the more weird it's going to be, and the more that it's going to look to you that this is not right because you've received no confirmation that you're supposed to be in this type of situation. You've been waiting for help and you're not receiving it. It's not the light, it's on the other side of that where your initiation comes through. So prayer is a privilege, it's a tool for the uninitiated. A person that can pray all day and can go on their knees and pray 8 hours a day, 10 hours a day, that's not an initiated person. They're not. Because they have not put enough into the system for the system to say, I know you. So they have to continuously pray because there are blockages. There are things that they're continuously receiving. There are people, say, for example, a pastor of a church. A pastor is going to receive a lot of negative, crazy things in their presence, and they have to spiritually contend with it by means of unconditional love, support, believing people when they lie. Not that is an anointing from the divine to be a pastor. So they will be, by their assignment, they may be allowed to continuously pray, or they may have other people pray in the church and do the prayers, and they do the sermonizing. And you'll notice that you'll see the pastor's not praying unless he's released to unto prayer, but they'll have the people in the church will do it because that is seeking unto the divine. If the divine says, I know you as my son or as my daughter, then there's a different type of arrangement for you. Currency is the lifeblood of the matrix. People going to a church, paying money into a church, that is energy of the system that the system has produced, that has been ordained to be put back into the seeking of the divine. If we don't have a sect or group of people on earth that are continuously, every generation, but forever and ever, that are seeking to grow, to become in union with the Creator, then there's no point in human existence whatsoever. Because as we showed you, the first drop of blood comes from an invisible place. It's not ordained that we're just producing blood. They have to get you to donate blood because they cannot even produce blood to help people to live, even though they can sit here and produce artificial hearts and livers and all kinds of body parts in a petri dish. Mind you, most of them die, but the blood itself has to be given by a living donor. That should tell you. So you're sowing into the notion that the Creator is the Almighty and He is master over your life. The controlled opposition dictates currency. So this is also, and this is also an initiated component. Once you cross over to the initiated side, you say, well, your eyes are open, you're awake, and you say, the wicked are running this world. The wicked, or those who are perceived as wicked, are doing things that are contrary to what my faith says that they should do. My faith and belief says that they should be creating something for me. But the reason why they can't do it is because something that is for you has to come from the creator. So there are certain things he releases you to come to PsychicUnderLord.com. He releases you to come to PsychicUnderLord.net. That is a privilege, that is an opportunity. I don't even put the tags where I come up at the top of the list. This whole thing, I have been told to take all my tags off. So literally, if you're on this page, you know me through the Etsy, you know me through the YouTube. Why in the world would I take money out of my own hand when I have the intelligence to figure out how to do it the right way? It's because this is not about me. It's about what comes through me and what is coming through this assignment. So the controlled opposition is there not to make your life a heaven on earth. Do you see how that works? They cannot replace what is on the other side of this thing. I don't care how wicked they become. If they had a gun and said, lay down or you should die, you've got to trust the creator to be able to get you out of that. If you're not far enough on the initiated side, that's not going to happen for you. That gun will have authority over your life because you're so low there. You're so low energetically there that they have to murder you. So it's a choice. This is life. I mean, physical outcomes are the proof. They're the proof. Look at your body. Look at how you're built. Accept these things. You're trying to figure out how to go to the gym and get in shape, and you've been doing it. You say, why can't I get in shape? Probably because you didn't ask permission. Probably because the physical outcome that you're looking for is different from the destiny control matrix. It's different from what you've received as far as your assignment. Your assignment does not require this or does not require that. It's very complex. It goes every day. You can go on and on and on, talking every day, asking every day, and it will never end. It doesn't. So accept the physical. So if you're living in a room or you're living in a 5-bedroom house, what does it matter? It matters because it's connected to your body, but it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just a sign of what is going on internally with you. So then we internalize it again, we take it back in, we start seeking. For those of us on our journey who pray, use your own religious tradition, take that information back, and you have to understand why. Because is it necessary? You have to resign these things in your mind, because the negativity will always hit you and say, well, this is not right, that is not right. Why isn't it? You need information to know whether or not you actually need a 5-bedroom house. You may be satisfied making $2,000 a month, but what if the destiny control matrix says you're supposed to make $4,000 to $5,000 a month? That may not be 100,000 or 1,000,000 like people are gassing you up to believe. But are you willing to accept what the destiny control matrix puts before you in your life and says, I want to bring this out of you so that you can experience this? When people are giving you information, if you receive information from any source, you may as well go ahead and accept it. Even if you first initially don't understand it, you can take that piece of information and inquire about it. What does this mean? I didn't like the way this happened, but here's a document. Can you tell me what this means? This is why we do the water testing. It is a universal concept. So, despite your religious beliefs, your concerns, people are saying the Bible is not real. They're saying that Jesus is not true. There's no God. I'm an atheist. I'm a Hindu. All this stuff is trash. What's real and true is the water test. So you do that, and then because it will be flush with your spirit. Your spirit is not a part of all this other stuff. That's just what you've received, and you have to contend and work out what is true or not. That's why we have the metaphysical common sense test, because that test will indicate truly what is right on the inside of you. so that your body can properly confront what it's supposed to confront. This is the ascension. That's why I have the shop. You're supposed to receive this information and to be able to, all of you, little by little, all over the world, receive this information and pass on this inheritance of the divine ascension of 2012. The uh, the new initiates, they have to use confrontation to access authority. If a person says I'm initiated, but there's no aspect of confrontation, things that are bouncing back at them, things that they have to handle and deal with, the mistakes they make. Mistakes are not mistakes. They are the pathway to obedience. And then when you become so obedient, you realize that when mistakes happen, the answer is right around the corner. It's not the end of the world. Now at first, it's going to be like the world is falling down because you've lived your whole life trying to not confront information, not confront situations, and trying to evade yourself and say, I'm too fabulous for this job. I'm too fabulous for this marriage. I'm too good for this. So all those egoic concepts of what you want to believe in, the law of attraction is, as I said before, it's nothing but ego, which ego is survival. So there is an aspect that we do have to look toward things because this is what we inquire with. Once I see this information, now I know what I need to ask in my own uh, personal spiritual tradition to be able to get the proper answer for what this is for. Carrying ritual is like carrying ritual into the world. You walk through the door with a psychic underlord ritual on you, things are going to start to bend. They're going to start to break. They may bend the other way. It may be something where you're actually getting closer to people that you don't even want to be closer to. All because the sense of confrontation must be completely fulfilled. Because the objects of the Creator will not work under the hand of those who are uninitiated. You may have people in your workplace that you say, I respect this person, I understand this person. I don't like this person, I'd rather stay away from them. I can function with this person, I just don't have to be around them. And then something in the spirit may say, no, you have to be in there with them. All because of the confrontation that you don't even know what it is. You're just having a conversation, everything is fine, nothing's wrong. But the whole time, on an atomic level, atomic confrontation is occurring so that destiny can be fulfilled. It comes from within. So you cannot die. You cannot be killed until you die. This whole concept of promoting and showing every day how many gunshots, how many people are killed, how many are murdered, how many drop dead from this or that. They publicize this instead of publicizing life. And then you say, well, the wicked are controlling this. You got to accept what is intentional. I'm saying focus on Psychic Underlord. You're focused on Channel 10 News. So the concept of you dying is not real because you truly do live day by day. And when our focus on what we're assigned to do, we have a purpose, we have a service to others assignment, that is what is life giving. People don't realize that. When people go into La La Land and they say they have enough resources, they have enough money, they have enough this and they have enough that, but they will continue to have sorrow. They will continue to suffer. They will continue to be in a situation where they must either join the infantry of darkness or they must perish. So they will march on and on unto death. There's no way that they're able to sustain life without an assignment. So your creator decides the timing and the feasibility of your death. How feasible is it for you to die based upon what you've been assigned to do? And for somebody to work at Social Security and say, "Oh, I retired after 35 years," that's good for them. And see, we can still congratulate and look at this thing how it's structured. Other people might say, "Oh, this is mundane," or "What did you really do for others other than work for the government?" Well, hey, maybe they did this or did that, raised their children. It's still a good thing to have that unconditional support and love for each other, and see, oh, that is wonderful, while you're still going through your spiritual journey. You don't have to have a thing where you hate people who are uninitiated, or you say, oh, I'm initiated, you're not, so you're going to die, I'm not. No, we still live day by day. And if you can't get that, be humbled there, how can you really carry an assignment? Because you, it's still something there you have not given up. That fear of death, that concept that, I may get sick, this may happen to me, I may break down the car on the road, I may lose my house, I may lose my job. All those things, you're going to go through that. But if you don't have the governance and trust on the life part as well as everything else, give it all away. Because as soon as you give it all up, you're going to realize how it really doesn't matter anyway. And if you live like that, you can be a soldier. So the book I've been assigned to is for you. The part of my life that comes out of my religious tradition, my spiritual tradition, it has been assigned for other people. So that's a sign for you when you start to have things in your mind and say, I want to do this for myself, and then something else comes through and says, no, I want you to do this for other people. And then it's like, why? When I could just simply have it for myself, because I should focus on myself, right? No, the concept in the occult matrix, yourself is other people. And that's without the ones and the zeros, and without the string theory, and without the quantum theory, and all this. We need that to make the body tamp down and understand and ground itself. That's because we're ungrounded by everything we receive, because it's us coming back at us and it's confusing. So we need the ritual to ground, but those other people, the service itself, that's us. And then when you get into it and you're truly assigned to it and you're water tested and you continuously water tested, and every step of the way is water tested, soon your reality will be created by the divine. So I want to thank you guys for all of your wonderful comments and participation. I have some more videos I'm going to do about the occult matrix, but I think I should stop here. So I thank you very much.